Starburns Audio.
Welcome to this Starburns Audio Show. We have so many great comedy podcasts to add to your playlist and keep you entertained. Just last week on Starburns Audio, Gilbert Gottfried and co-host Frank Santapadre talked to actress Amy Ryan on Gilbert Gottfried's amazing Colossal podcast. Hosts Keith King-Bay and Jesse Neal presented an episode about playing a pandemic-themed game, Siphon Filter, on the podcast New Player Has Joined. On Dumb People Town, Australian comedian Aaron Chen joins Daniel Van Kirk and the Sklar brothers to celebrate 3 stories about people doing dumb things, including a man asking people to loan him supplies to commit a robbery. Search Starburns Audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform for a full list of our shows, featuring hosts like Chelsea Peretti, Bob the Drag Queen and Monet Exchange, Dan Harmon, Kyle Ayers, and Miss Pat. Enjoy the show.
Starburns Audio.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Bender, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits the funny hits and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population you.
Population Rocca.
Mo Rocca, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here.
It is so nice. I feel like we've been a fan of yours from afar for so long, but to actually sit in the same room and riff is just
You've accompanied
treat.
me on so many flights with Mobituaries.
Oh,
the Von Meter episode is phenomenal.
Thank you
And
very
the
much.
episode about killing off characters in TV shows.
Sitcom characters that either die or just vaporize. They just
Vaporize.
disappear.
Yes. Just some phenomenal work that you're doing on that
thanks,
show.
man. Thanks.
And the new season's been great as well, too.
Thank you.
Thank
I think
you for
the
accompanying
key
me.
to what I think always has drawn us to you is specificity in everything that you do, no matter if you do it for a gigantically broad audience, morning TV show, to the smaller audience that it's like, you know what I mean? You keep the specificity the whole way through, and that way you never waver.
Well, details are fun, right? Were you guys encyclopedia guys growing up?
Yeah, we had encyclopedia. We had
Which one?
Britannica. We had
Britannica.
Britannica.
I was a World Book.
So,
but yeah.
okay, so we had our dad's like 57 Britannica copies. And then we bought the World. Then our parents got us the World Book when we were kids. And it was like, yeah, these things are amazing.
Yeah, it was
it was the internet in book form.
Totally.
That's what I say in my album, yeah. We had stacks of the internet all over my house. My mom sold Encyclopedia Britannica.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
She went like door to door?
Yeah.
She must have had really strong arms.
She did. She's
Paying the price
D1,
now. She's paying the price now.
But yeah, she sold those for a while.
Jeez.
Yeah, I talk about it on my album. But I remembered and you would just go. It felt fun,
right?
It felt fun to see
look
if it was in
something up.
there. Yes, and
Look
like
it
find
up.
it. Yeah.
Flip it open randomly.
Google it.
Yeah.
So I love that we're
Hand
talking about
Google
this
it.
because there was a time in this country where people wanted to know things, and I feel like the world.
They wanted to know for sure about
right.
something.
We've now
factually.
turned the page, and we're like, I don't need to know that, and I'm proud.
No
I
one
don't
looked
know
in
it.
an encyclopedia and said fake information.
No.
We all just kind of were like,
that's in there.
they said
That
so.
looks
Now,
like
some of it has been argued that it was not factual, but there is history.
The
has changed some
Tassidi
things.
Indians. Do you remember that whole
I
thing?
don't remember that.
It's a group of sort of native peoples outside of Manila or somewhere in the Philippines that were said to have been an untouched society of
the
people.
most quote unquote
like that.
primitive
society people. They were working with rock tools and all that other stuff.
Pre-metal age, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And what it was later revealed, and then people studied them, and they were in Rand McNally books and all that stuff. But then what was later found out is that they were all actors by the Philippine government to take away from all the atrocities and other things they were doing. But to me, just the thought of like two guys in a loincloth around the corner from a rock just smoking, being like, yeah, I got to use the rock thing next. Are you banging down on it or to the side? Anyway, like, they just snuff it out with their feet.
Did you get that hot dog commercial?
Yeah, I did.
Good, man. Good.
I'm going to accept an Academy Award now. Reject one for Marlon Brando.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm from the same agency. I love that you guys had 1957, though, because did you think for a long time that Eisenhower was still president or something?
We're frozen in time.
Because I had 1974 World Book, and for the longest time, I thought there was like a country called French West Africa, and that All in the Family was America's most popular TV show.
Well, I mean, come on. If you had to freeze in time, that's not a
It was
place.
that, and then our Guinness Book of World Records, 1977.
The Guinness Book was 77. That was a great
and
thing.
it provided us one of our first stand-up bits of all time, which was
And then we'll get into a story right away.
world's tallest man, Robert Wadlow. I don't know if you
8'11" 3/4 inches tall.
So there's a photo of him in
remember this.
the Guinness Book with his two regular-sized
Yeah.
brothers, 5'10", 5'11", and they're standing next to him. He's in the middle, and Guinness Book. I don't know.
they
if
had to have been joking.
So they then put in the caption, "Robert is the one wearing glasses." Now I think that could have.
Thank you, Guinness. This guy's head isn't through the ceiling, and he's on.
You're like,
another
oh yeah,
floor.
that's when you remember Guinness is a beer,
Yeah, that's so funny.
right?
Why were remind me why Chang and Ang were in the Guinness Book of World Records?
Were they the Siamese twins?
Yeah.
First ever
Yeah, they were-
Siamese.
they were
I don't
conjoined
know, like the
twins.
oldest.
I think it was
living
oldest.
Siamese twins.
I think it was oldest.
Oldest living, yeah.
Everybody
Just like-
remembers that picture.
I just like that they both had tuxedos made for, or maybe it was
Yeah.
one jacket, two arms. I don't know.
All right.
I don't either.
All right, let's get into a story
Wanna do it?
because
Yeah,
the world's
let's do
getting
it.
dumber and we have to fight back somehow, some way, and we have Mo Rocca here. So why not use the Mo Rocca that we've got?
Here we go. Sent in by Pat McMoran at McMoPat, who did what everyone who loves this show could do. Go to Twitter, hashtag DumbPeopleTown, at me, that would be at Daniel Van Kirk, and send me a story. We've got our tour coming up. We'll plug all that stuff later, but we need stories.
Dan's
So send them on,
been
guys.
preparing so many shows that we're burning through our stories.
Yeah.
So
Hit us
that
up.
is we're putting our dumb boots on the ground. If you guys are out there
Give me
and
a
have
dumb
stories,
waterfall of stories.
send Dan stories.
Pat McMoran did it. All right, at McMoPat. Tampa, Florida. So, belly of the beast.
We know where we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. We
already-
know
okay.
where we're at.
For the past several years, Amanda Soares has made the trip from Claremont down to Tampa to enjoy the Bay Area Renaissance Festival. Have
I
any of you
like
been
her.
to a Ren
Have
Fair?
you been to a Ren Fair?
Did you have to do a remote at a Ren Fair?
I haven't had to do that yet. I haven't checked that off, but I think I've been to one as like a tourist.
I would love to go.
Our
to
friend Jamie Denbo, who has been on this show, did a phenomenal improviser, created a show, and I don't know what. Makes me upset that I don't know what network it's on, but it is all about a Ren Fair. It is
Ooh, really?
phenomenal. It's like kind of dirty and sexy, and about a Ren Fair.
That's
it's
what
so
I would
good.
want. I want a Ren Fair to be a little dirty.
Saucy.
Right.
No, I don't mean. Yeah, I don't even. I just want
Just
some like
tawdry-
authenticity of
tawdry.
grime to it, like like a little unkept. I guess,
Which is what the Renaissance period was
Was
probably
like.
like.
Probably right. They didn't have that much to do. What
Right.
What would you do back then?
You,
See how far you can throw
joust,
things?
Joust.
Joust the hell
and
out
then
of
you
someone.
can
Right.
joust between two people.
All right,
so
here we
to
go.
speak. Air
Yeah,
quotes.
the human joust.
She was excited to have her son and parents tag along for this year's festivities, which means two things. One, I don't think you should ever take your family in public in Florida. Two,
To me, it means
That's a
that-
risk.
Two, it means that her parents said, "We're not going to watch your kid while you go to the Ren Fair."
that's like okay.
So
Three,
we're all
then.
going.
They're all
Three,
going, yes.
That means she's been going for years alone.
Yeah.
And this year was like, I'm bringing the fam.
Bad idea.
Right.
It's like if I brought my kids to Burning Man. I don't know if you've ever been to Burning Man.
How many times have you talked
Oh,
about
Rand, you've
going?
been to Burning
I've
Man?
been to Burning Man.
He
Have
brings
you
it
been
up
to
about
Burning Man,
every
Mo?
5 minutes.
I've never been to Burning
Would
Man.
you go?
Wait, is that? It sounds really dirty. I
It
mean, like
is.
just,
That's what I think.
Speaking of,
And I don't like the sanitizing lotion. If there's a point at which if you're using so much of it, you actually start to feel really dirty.
I
So don't-
agree.
Or it burns through your skin.
it creates a globule.
I might
Yeah.
go this year, and that was my one thing with Randy. I was like, I just need to shower, and
I'm
Randy's
like,
like, oh, you're
there
not
is
gonna
a.
shower.
You won't, but there's
And then
a.
I'm like, well, then I don't know if I
You
just
can
need. I
get
can't go
on
to
a
sleep
cart
dirty.
where you get
No,
naked.
no, but-
That's the one with the art, though, right? Coachella's the one with
Yes.
the music.
Yeah, Coachella's music and Burning Man is all art.
Okay, we're all out of it.
Yeah.
That's all right.
All right, here we go.
Mo Rocca would be the only person at Burning Man wearing a blazer,
Yes.
dressed sharply.
Okay, here we go. Quote, you feel like you just jumped into another world, and that's what's fun. So
She talking about
Amandasaurus-
parenting or the Ren Fair?
Amanda Suarez is leaning in. She wants the real thing.
I want you to be in my life.
She wants to jump into another world.
You expect to see costumes, of course, all the food. You're in another world, and the shows are always awesome, said Steve Trigg, Soar's father. Steve Trigg. Just on name alone knows how to throw a
But they're
punch.
only identifying him as the father. They're not identifying them as a couple.
No, that's her. That's
It's her
Soar's
father.
Amanda's
That's
father.
her
Amanda's
father.
father.
Her
Her
father.
Who
Grandfather.
she invited along.
Great.
It's not hard to get lost in the festival's magic atmosphere. However, the cheers coming from a nearby stage that caused Soares and her family to stop in disbelief. I should read you the headline at this point. Renaissance Festival apologizes after men in kilts competition flashes crowd.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's authentic.
More like Trampa.
Yeah. Hashtag Trampa.
Is that an official hashtag of the Dumb People Town Compendium?
Hashtag Trampa. Yeah.
Yeah,
Trampa
okay.
Bay. Trampa Bay.
Those have to be shirts.
Those have to be.
Those have to be shirts.
That's not a new
It's
thing.
spring break. If somebody's not selling Trampa Bay,
If Mo Rocca just came up with hashtag Trampa,
you owe him a royalty fee.
we owe him
Right.
More. We have a debt of gratitude. Yeah.
So you never happen in St. Petersburg. But
That's
anyway.
right. That's right.
Thank you.
St. Peter's.
They made them stop in disbelief. As I'm filming, first of all, you're not going along with the Renaissance Fair then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're filming at the Renaissance.
You can't film at a Renaissance. Did they have iPhone 11s back in the
No, I think it was
Renaissance
iPhone
time?
2.
You're
Okay.
going to be tried as a witch.
Yeah.
if
That's
you're
right.
walking
If
around
you
with a camera.
have a camera.
As I'm filming, they're cheering and cheering. This one came around, swirled around, danced, and then he bent over and lifted up his kilt, and there's his backside saying hello.
I don't think that's what it was saying.
saying goodbye.
Yeah.
That's right. Is that goodbye?
Right.
Or it's saying, come on in.
Everyone's cheering and cheering and shaking, and then you're seeing other body parts shaking from underneath there, said Steve Trigg. Steve Trigg not having it.
But Steve Trigg is talking around what's going on. Like, just tell us. He
Right.
lifted up his
You saw
kilt.
his
He wasn't
junk.
wearing
Could see
anything. I
his
saw
junk.
his
That's
balls.
right.
I like,
That's it.
just say it. Like, why are you
I
trying
just
to
hope the
tiptoe
guy
around?
running this kilt festival ran it like a wet t-shirt contest.
Were there kilts? I don't associate kilts with Renaissance.
No, that feels later.
Yeah.
Feels later Scottish.
I'm going to look at it.
Right.
Because Renaissance feels just like the United Kingdom, right?
Well, I mean, Italy, right, and France,
Yeah, there's a- yeah,
Renaissance,
they all
I guess,
have
but
one,
the
but at a Ren
festivals,
Fair,
right? But
feels
at least
Victorian,
England, right?
But the
not up in-
was the
very
Renaissance. So was the Renaissance defined
We're
by
geniuses.
the art and the writing, by the literature and the art of the time?
time.
So it's like 17th and 18th
But it's
century.
been
Right,
co-opted
right,
to mean swords.
All right, give us the details.
History of
Pooping
the
in the
kilt.
street.
History of the kilt.
This would be K in your 1974 World Book Encyclopedia. Stretches back to at least the end of the 16th century. Now,
So
is
then
that-
it would have. So then that would have crossed over.
Kilt first appeared
They
as
would?
a
I have no idea when the
belted
Renaissance
plaid or
was.
great kilt. The full garment, upper half, could be worn as a cloak draped over the shoulder. So it was shoulder length. It was a cloak.
You can wear a shoulder kilt?
or walking
Instead of-
kilt. Walking kilt is similar to the modern kilt. Did not develop until the late 17th century.
Right. Okay. Well, all
Still-
right,
that's
okay.
still Renaissance.
That still feels Renaissance-y.
You guys are smarter than I am.
I don't know.
It's amazing.
So everyone's cheering here. But as I was saying, I was hoping, I just want to think of the guys like, all right, everybody, we're going to get these guys up here. They're going to come up, cheer for them now. And then
Coming
we
to the
tell-
main
show 'em
stage.
your
We used to
goods.
okay,
Yeah,
so
coming
we
to
used
the
to do
main stage.
we used to do a bit. They're like the thunder from down under,
Yeah.
from under their kilts. We used to do a bit on in our act about going to see a magic show in Las Vegas with our parents, and we were like 20, and there were little kids in the crowd. It was like a 2 p.m. show, and the guy does this like crazy thing. Lance Burton was his name, famous
yeah,
magician.
Lance.
He does a thing where he wheels out an empty cage, spins it around 3 times, taps it, and then like 50 white doves fly out of. And he had all these little kids on the stage. Bring all the kids on the stage. Bring them up on the stage. And they're all trying to like catch the doves, which also seems weird. But then they fly off and it's all over. Then the lights go down. Music comes up. Curtain opens and a topless levitating woman
is up there.
So they just did.
I was like,
with
wait, I see a kid still
Still
getting
on the
off the
stage.
stage,
and there's topless
breasts.
So it just was like, I guess,
Not
Vegas.
that we have a problem with press, but it is a jarring change in tone.
I mean,
It
I'm
is.
like,
It's sort of like a strip bar right next to like a jamboree.
Right,
Right.
like
Or
you
something.
can,
Yes.
like you can have a topless woman if you don't bring the kids on the stage.
Right.
If you don't acknowledge that there are children in the audience and you sort of act like like, oh, I don't
didn't
know
there
who's
were
coming.
kids out there.
She's a wet nurse.
Yes,
Yes,
she could have
exactly.
been. She could have
Wet
been
nurse.
providing.
But then the kids have to be really young, or it doesn't make any sense.
And then they don't even comprehend what's happening. So they're
one of the
bad
parents
audience
was
members.
like, "I was told there'd be no food." Oh, she's right.
I'm not dairy. All right, so listen, 14th century to the 17th century was the Renaissance period. It was a rediscovery of classic philosophical literature and art, a rebirth of political,
was a
artistic,
Renaissance
and
of
culture.
sorts.
It kind of was, but it came after the Middle Ages, and so that was sort of a dark time.
But doesn't it feel like a lot of Renaissance fairs are also part of the Middle Ages?
Yeah, there's a little bit of an overlap, I think, there.
I'm gonna be a Renaissance truther. Okay, so
Yeah, come on, Dan.
Come on, Dan.
So here's a picture of the Renaissance Fair. Now, when you look at this, you'll see that they should have known they were in for trouble from the jump. That these guys on stage were not all there to just be friendly, family friendly. There is a man, a big red bearded man with only
shirt,
wearing a kilt.
only a kilt.
Then there's someone dressed as like a bear or a wolf.
In a Catholic schoolgirl.
Yeah, and then another guy with no shirt, and then this guy is like AC/DC.
Oh, he's like Angus Young.
Yes, he looks like
a
Angus
kid's
Young.
school outfit.
Yes, he looks exactly
Which
like
I always
Angus
said about
Young.
Angus Young from AC/DC, the lead guitarist, who dresses like a British schoolboy, that he chose that outfit at a very young age when he probably was just out of school.
He's like, there's no way AC/DC.
There's no way AC/DC is going to be around long enough for me to be a 75-year-old man in a British
Stuck in
schoolboy's
this.
outfit. It's like when you go on set and you do a movie
scene.
or a scene, and the very first take, you take a huge bite of a hamburger. People are always like, don't do that, because 30 takes later, you're either spitting it into a bucket.
Spit bucket.
So that's essentially, he took a giant bite of a figurative hamburger, and that's where he's at, Angus.
Well, he didn't think that he probably didn't think the band would be that
right.
successful.
And
Right?
now
That
they're-
this would be over.
And
right?
these people were like, look, there's not going to be that many people here at the
There's not
Ren
gonna be
Fair.
kids at the Renaissance
We can
Fair.
look like a float at the Pride Parade in West Hollywood. That's kind of what they're starting to look like in this thing.
Well, it also looks a little bit like a barn racing, like a little Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
And a great turnout for the men in kilts.
Right. I was like, man, we're having trouble getting people out to our show. Look at how many people show up for the Ren Fair. We should probably just promote that we're a Ren Fair.
The show is part of the Men in Kilts competition. It's advertised on Facebook with a description explaining to guests that they're in for a real treat.
Nope.
However,
Do not say that. That encourages people to wear nothing.
However,
More like men without kilts.
Thank you.
this is far from how Soros and her son were
The
expecting
unsafety
to see.
dance.
I'm there with my 13-year-old son. This is a quote. And he's a little older, but it's still super embarrassing, Soros explained. You don't need to be embarrassed.
No.
He gave me a look like, whoa, what is happening on the stage over there? And I would have said, welcome to the Renaissance.
That's right.
Despite the crowd's cheers, some people can be seen shielding their eyes or turning away, which is also great Renaissance response.
Totally.
Yes. Soros and her father said they were given no warning. How would that even work?
Hey,
That
you
somebody
know
was
what
supposed to walk up there and be like, all right, y'all, welcome to the ye old merry time. We're going to get some men's dicks out here in a couple of minutes.
Jeez.
If there's anybody's triggered by seeing genitalia,
Right, and we
now's the
understand
Turn
that.
away.
We just want to get out in front of it.
In 1978, we went on a family vacation to New Orleans because my father wanted to hear Dixieland jazz. And
Nice.
we walked down Bourbon Street.
Oh, God.
And I can still remember this is the first time I had seen a topless woman. Right.
Sure.
And my mother, who's Colombian, I thought she would be really upset about it because she was really strict. And she went, oi! And she thought it was really, I mean, she
thought it was
the whole
great?
thing, she thought it was kind of funny.
The
You know?
culture.
It
You
sort
were
of
in the
broke the
culture.
ice.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
We weren't looking
So wait,
for
I want to go back to the fact that your dad wanted to see Dixieland Jazz, and so you guys all had to come with him.
Right, we drove from Washington D.C. to New Orleans.
out of
my
here.
God.
Yes.
And along the way, how old were you? You said 78. So
1978, so it was 9.
9.
Yeah.
Okay, so at that point, were you complaining along the way? Were you saying, "Why are we doing this?" Or were you just like,
you
"All right,
accept it.
This is
This
what
is
we
what
do."
Dad wants to
We
do.
were told, we knew that at the hotel in New Orleans there was a revolving bar on top, and so
yes.
that made it. That was the carrot.
Right.
So we knew that.
You're gonna rotate as you eat, kids.
Right. So that's why we're driving about 30 hours. But it paid off. It was a bit, I mean, I wish it would have spun faster.
Sure, of course.
But you also got to walk around the French Quarter, and you have this unbelievable
Didn't you
memory.
find-
We did, yeah.
Did you find New Orleans, and now that you've traveled all over the country, and I still find this about New Orleans, I can't believe it's in the South. It's like, it feels like a European city plunked into like the Bible Belt. It's just so bizarre.
That's the good part of it. I think the not so good part of it is just it's always so sticky.
Yeah,
Like
oh
it
my
always
God.
feels like it.
Don't go in the summer.
Right, but also all the alcohol and with lots of sugary additives, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, like the,
Hurricanes.
the
Yes.
floor is sticky
like the floor
everywhere.
after probably an open mic night. Like
Yes.
the entire city is
yes.
that way.
Sticky.
The entire
yes.
city is a floor after an open mic night.
Despite the people shielding their eyes, all that stuff, they said they were given no warning. Quote, he was the fourth or fifth person that was trying to show what was under his kilt. So they got into a real one-upsmanship
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
And everyone's cheering, said Steve Trieg. I wish Steve Trieg was here.
What's
Those who put on the Bay Area Renaissance Festival. So,
okay? So it could. Bay
I mean, the Tampa
Area.
Bay Area.
Oh, Tampa Bay.
Oh,
I know,
Tampa
see,
Bay. I
thought
that's
it
the
was
thing.
Bay.
You thought San Francisco Bay Area because you're like, well, okay.
never know.
Bay Area. Oh,
Right.
yeah. Tampa
I'm
Bay.
willing.
Tampa Bay.
I'll allow it.
Those that put on the Tampa Bay Area Renaissance Festival were appalled to hear of guests' experience. The festival's general manager, Kathy Parker,
God.
she's also on the board. I don't know
Parker-
of what, but I guarantee
Kathy Parker has a walkie-talkie even when she's not at the festival.
Kathy Parker demanded to have she's like, what is my title?
Right.
And they're like, Kathy, you're just an organizer.
Kathy Parker's-
No, I need to be general manager. I want that.
Kathy Parker is someone you've never interacted with who starts out a conversation by saying, we've met once before.
No,
And you're
Kathy,
like, no,
we
we
haven't."
have not, Kathy.
We have not. I've never met you before.
Just one thing I'd like to say.
I'm the
You're going
GM.
to say way more than one, Kathy.
Here's what I'm gonna need from you. We haven't even said hi yet.
Right, exactly.
So she's a GM. She's not
GM.
the coach, right? And so she's
yes.
okay.
She's the GM. So more of an overseer.
front office.
Front office.
Right. She's not day to day, but big picture, she'll
Right.
step in.
She makes moves.
But she'll get
Broad
blamed, right?
Yes.
It's on me, you guys. I need everyone.
My
to do
name
it.
is out there on this one.
She said, on behalf of the Bay Area Renaissance Festival, we would like to apologize to anyone that may have been offended by a ticket holder that participated in our Men in Kilts competition yesterday. Also, half apology. If you were bothered, sorry. We're not sorry that it happened. We're
Yeah.
sorry that you were bothered.
Sorry by the way, the worst thing to say to someone when you're apologizing. I'm sorry that made you upset. That's putting it 100%
Yeah, I'm not sorry
on the
about what I
people who
did.
are upset.
I'm sorry about it.
Sorry you got upset from that.
Yeah.
Sorry
I
you couldn't
actually-
handle it.
I'm starting to feel bad for the guy who flashed his genitalia though,
Yeah.
because he had to buy a ticket. You would have thought that.
He's in the kilt competition.
Yeah,
you
you're
should
in
get
I
it
would
for
have
free.
thought he'd be comped.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm assuming
Maybe this is in reaction to having
he
to buy a
got there,
ticket.
had one too many meat and mead.
Yep.
And then they said, hey, there's a Men in Kilt. He's like, I'm in. Let me take my shirt off.
I'm like, no,
No,
I don't think
you're
you need to
okay.
do
I'm
that. I
in.
got it off.
Hey,
meat-
see
a
if that
meat and meat
guy
is-
dressed as a bear wants to come do it.
Is that a meet, a meet and meet? Is that like a Renaissance meet and greet?
Yes, meat and meat is a
Okay.
meet and greet of
Okay,
food
good.
and fun.
Sure, get it.
She said, she went on to say, the person was not employed by the festival and not acting in a manner condoned by the festival, but I would say could be timely for the air,
Yes.
right?
And then she went on and
Condoned
on.
by the
It's like,
period.
can everyone switch?
Condoned
To,
by the period, not by the people. That's how she should have closed it up.
and then she went on to be like, can everyone switch to channel 2, please? Who's on channel 3? Everyone switch to channel 2.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
all this.
You're the only one with the
Okay,
walkie-talkie.
why is Jeff not on channel 3? Get him on channel 3.
We take pride in a 45-year history of being the producer of the multiple family-friendly festivals and events around the country. We will continue to produce entertainment for everyone's enjoyment while maintaining our emphasis of good family fun. Soares, that's Amanda, told Fox 13 she still plans to return to the festival next year, and she's hopeful that changes will be made.
More people will show their junk.
Right.
She's like, that wasn't
Just
enough
one.
for me.
Yeah, if you'd have warned me, I wouldn't have brought the kids.
Here's the change. Dad, mom, kid, you're staying at home.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd say the change. Get Steve Teague in that festival.
Steve T.
that's
Tree.
Oh, sorry, yes, Trig.
Thank
yeah.
you.
That's story-
Detail oriented.
Right.
Right.
Detail.
All right. Detail. There's story one.
Story number one.
Oh, man.
Family that rens together. I'm just stuck on
know.
ren as a verb.
Yeah. The family that
Rens together.
Ren fairs together.
Ren fairs together. despairs together.
Despairs together. There it is.
If they are.
If
We
they're
got it.
seeing that kind of stuff.
John.
I wish I was in the car with you on that trip down to New Orleans.
I wish I was on Bourbon Street
I
with
wish
you.
I was with your mom when she made that noise.
The day before, we'd been in St. Augustine, Florida, where they have the best Ripley's, believe it or not, museum.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, the one in Wisconsin Dells was really good too.
Is that true?
Yeah, very good.
I mean,
very
I'm
good.
sure
But I don't know if it can compete
Dan,
to a Florida.
Dan, I
Ripley's,
don't believe
it or
that.
not.
Dan, I don't believe that.
Okay, fine. Well, you're gonna have to,
There
or
you go.
not,
Or not. Believe it or not, it is the best one. All right, Mo Rocca's with us. We have more Dumb People Town right after the break. Stay with us.
Stick around, make a sound for more Dumb People Town.
No worries.
Are we rolling? Okay. Guys, we are going to talk to you about probably the best gift we've gotten for our mom. I'll just put this in the category of for a loved one. You can get it for someone getting married. You can get it for your partner. You can get it for your kids, whatever. The skylight frame.
I love this thing.
This is the.
You just reminded me. We just took a bunch of pictures. I'm going to send them there.
So it's a frame that sits in the house of the person who you love, okay? And it looks like a regular picture frame, but it rotates photos that you upload to
like a
this
screen.
frame. It's a screen. So you upload photos to it. It's super easy. You just email the photos. As soon as you take a good photo on your phone,
I text them or I email them
text
to
or email
my Skylight frame.
to the skylight frame, to the email address, and instantaneously they enter the rotation. So our mom calls us almost every day and is like, I love the new pictures.
You just send them right there, and then she's got them.
She
just
doesn't have to
displaying in
worry
her
about
house.
how to download upload. It all goes into this frame that she just looks at.
It's the
and she
easiest thing
loves.
to set up too. You set it up with their Wi-Fi in the person's house. You can upload a bunch of videos photos to start with, so they have a chance. You have a nice rotation going, and then you just keep feeding it, and it is fantastic. Easy to set up, 60 seconds, 100% satisfaction guaranteed, and whoever you get it for will be so satisfied.
Now there's a special offer. You can get $10 off your purchase for a skylight frame. If you go to skylightframe.com, enter the code DPT. This is not a dumb thing to do. This is a smart thing to do, okay? Get $10 off your purchase of a skylight frame. Just go to skylightframe.com, enter the code DPT. That's SKYLIGHTFRAME.com. Promo code DPT. Get someone the best gift you will ever get them. Do it right now.
Working remotely can be a challenge, especially for teams that are new to it. How do you deal with your work environment being the same as home while staying connected and productive? And then there's your newest coworker, the cat. Well, your friends at Trello have been powering remote teams globally for almost a decade. At a time when teams must come together more than ever to solve big challenges, Trello's here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, is an app with an easy-to-understand visual format, plus tons of features that make working with your team functional and just plain fun. Trello keeps everyone organized and on the same page, helping teams communicate, focus, and connect. Teams of all shapes and sizes at companies like Google, Fender, Costco, and likely your favorite neighborhood coffee shop all use Trello to collaborate and get work done. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com. Trello.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. We got Mo Rocca with us. Tell people how they can find your podcast, how to follow you, and see all the great stuff that you're doing.
Well, the podcast is also called Mobituary, so you get it wherever you get your podcast. Wherever you get your podcast,
Wherever you
can
get
this.
it.
Wherever.
Whole Foods,
I'm not going to ask where you're
If
getting
you
your
make
podcast.
back alley deals to get your podcast, then
I'm not
get
judging.
it there. No.
way.
But
Where
get
you get them, it's
Mobituaries.
fine. Get it.
It's fantastic.
Oh,
It's really,
thank you.
really amazing.
Yeah, well, dead people are really easy to deal with.
Yeah, they don't talk back. I'll tell you that.
How has it been doing that show, and how long does it take you to put together an episode?
It takes about 3 months to do
Yeah.
one. I know.
I believe, was it the Audrey Hepburn one?
Yeah.
Where she walked into.
I worked at Macy's and
Yes.
Herald Square.
Yeah.
I wasn't a spritzer. Those are the male models in
Yeah.
front of the counter. I was behind the counter, so I kind of used the male model to kind of lure in the customers. And then one day, Audrey Hepburn walked by the counter, and really the whole retail floor fell silent. People just
I
stopped
can only
talking.
imagine.
Could you?
Yeah,
I
she
cannot
kind of floated
imagine.
by. Yeah.
What year is this?
1992.
Wow.
And then I had no idea she was sick. She died a few months later. She died on the day that Bill Clinton was inaugurated, so he pushed her off the front page.
Yeah, exactly.
And really jerk. And,
I did not push her.
and
Did you notice her and you hadn't been told yet, or did it permeate through the department?
Yeah, when
she
did-
was there?
Did it kind of whisper through the?
It did whisper through. It
Audrey Hepburn's,
it
Audrey
just
is,
went.
Audrey's there.
It's really it did. It just went quiet and just kind of watched, and she, I can still see her in my mind's eye, like obviously she's not here, but walking past the counter, and and I don't think anyone even spritzed her or anything. We just all kind of watched. It's Audrey Hepburn, and it was,
Scarf over the head. Where was she?
well, she had the interesting thing, she kind of had no cervical curve, like her neck, right? It was just like a really straight line.
Yeah.
So it really was like there was a string, like kind of pulling her from above, and she
She
was
had such good posture.
great posture.
Yeah,
and
of course.
she had raised money. It's not fan fiction. She, in secret dance performances in Nazi-occupied Holland, she raised money for the resistance in these secret dance performances that she'd hold.
Unreal.
I mean, she was really kind of like a superhero. And
She was.
Yeah. And then and so for that episode, I wanted to talk to her sons about kind of what drove her, because I noticed in Twitter's so awful, but one of the interesting things that I've noticed that's not horrible is I would see her trending all the time, and I thought, she's been dead over a quarter century.
Why is she trending?
What is it? And her sons told me, they said she almost starving to death during the war really kind of had this great impact on her. And when they described what it meant to her, I went back and I looked at the movies again, and there is like this quality of kind of yearning and sort of gratitude that sort of comes through. And I don't think it's an accident, because studios tried to remake her and they couldn't. Other actresses didn't have the same connection. I don't think it's an accident when people connect with
or
the
that
camera.
she's as iconic as she was, because
Right.
there's something deeper inside of her that all people can connect to. That's why she's iconic.
Right. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, I
Beautiful.
just can't tell everybody enough. I'm a fan of Mobituaries. As a comic, the Von Meter, I know I referenced it earlier episode, because we have this symbiotic relationship to the events and the news that are happening. And if your career kind of rests solely on one of those things existing, and then it gets taken away, you do have the career floor is taken away from you. And he was a household name of
This
the
guy,
JFK. Yeah.
Von Meter did this uncanny impersonation of JFK.
Yeah.
He wasn't a great stand-up comic otherwise, but he just had this crazy, uncanny ability. He became comedy albums were new. This is in 1962 at this point.
Yep.
They create an album called The First Family, where it's the Kennedy family. He's playing Kennedy. It becomes the biggest selling album of all time up to that point. It wins Album of the Year, the second comedy album to ever do so, after Bob Newhart. November 22nd, 1963.
Was Bob Newhart's Button-Down Comic? Was that the one? Or
It's
was
the
it-
one where he does the Great Lincoln, the PR bit.
Yes,
I don't know
yes,
the name of
yes,
it.
yes.
But comedy albums were pretty new, and he becomes wildly famous. Kennedy is murdered, and he becomes this living reminder of this horrible day. And he said, we unearthed in the CBS News archives this long interview he gave a few years before he died in 2004, where he told basically his life story while he's drinking vodka, by the way. Of
course. Can you hear the ice cubes
Jingling.
Right. And,
So from the bottle, okay.
yeah, from the bottle. Wow. And he's talked about one time walking down 2nd Avenue in New York City, and this riveter, this construction worker, stopped what he was doing, walked over to him, and just put his hand on Von Meter's shoulder, as if not saying anything, as if to say, I'm so sorry. And Von Meter's reaction, which I understand, is he wanted to kill the guy and say, like, I'm not dead.
I'm alive.
Yeah, I'm going to stop it.
that's right.
Don't,
Don't associate me that much with this,
Yeah.
is because it takes a certain amount of skill to be somebody, to play someone. We have friends, James Adomian, who does the most unbelievable Bernie Sanders ever. And
I mean, for a long time, most of what I did was just doing a character of Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Right.
And if at that point, God forbid, he had gone away, I would have stopped doing that and not been asked to do anything else.
Which is
for
crazy,
for a chapter of my career. Like it was like it kind of hinged on that ability.
So, guys, dig deep into Mobituaries. I really want you to
it's so
check
good.
it out. We have lots of stuff that we're promoting on our own. We've got. We're going to be doing. We're going on tour with Dumb People Town. We just did it live last night at Largo.
Thanks
and
to
that
everyone who
episode's
came
up.
out and made that show magical. If you haven't listened to it, do yourself a favor.
This is what it feels like when you do a sold-out show at Largo. It's fantastic. But Will Arnett Barnett and Colin Hay and Paul F. Tompkins. So we've got guests coming up. We're announcing some guests that are coming up we're doing Minneapolis, then St. Louis, then Milwaukee.
Minneapolis, we got the guys from
Mystery Science Theater, Mike
3000.
Nelson, the original guys, Mike Nelson, Kevin Murphy, and the second iteration.
Minus Joel, yes.
And Bill Corbett. And then the Cactus Blossoms are playing music. They're
amazing band.
It's at the Cedar Cultural Center on March
Like
9th.
Cactus Blossoms on their own could probably fill the venue, and they should. So
March 19th, that's a Thursday night, and then Friday night we're in St. Louis at Del Mar Hall. We've got Tim Convey and Dave Holmes.
and we're working on musical act.
And then on Saturday night, we're going to be at Turner Hall in Milwaukee, and that's just going to be a fantastic show. We've got the Field Report. Chris Field it's fantastic. He's doing music, and then we're working on the guest. Anyway,
It's just great.
Can I
It's
say
just fun.
something about St. Louis?
yes.
Which you guys are from, right?
where we grew
Yes,
up, yeah.
we're from.
Yeah, that you probably covered it somewhere when the St. Louis Blues were winning, went from
Yes.
last and
Yeah.
worst
Yeah,
record in the
amazing.
NHL all the way to Stanley Cup after they adopted Gloria, Laura
Yes.
Branigan as
It's
the
amazing.
theme song, that people started asking for Laura Branigan to come sing the song because they didn't realize she had died.
She died, yeah.
Yeah,
She's
so
dead.
it
Really?
was-
Yeah.
I missed that.
I
So,
didn't-
but you know where they got the song from? This is an interesting story. So they were in Philadelphia, and they had won, and they went to this bar. Like the team goes to this bar where like a softball team,
local union
like union guys were in there at their local bar after their softball game, and they were playing Gloria on the jukebox, and like, this is our rally song. We started winning once we started listening to this song, and it became this thing. And the Blues are like, we're taking that. We're taking this song. I mean, it's the most random song. It is not a rock anthem. It is not Gary Glitter. It is not We Will Rock You. It's the opposite, quite honestly.
Yeah.
It's a female singer singing a song about a woman. I mean, it's the weirdest thing for it to become the battle
The
cry.
only
for this
thing
song.
weirder would have been Sheena Easton, My Baby Takes the Morning Train.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Sugar Walls.
Yeah, that would have been.
My Baby Takes the Morning Train is the most submissive, like, I'm at home.
Patriarchal.
My Baby Takes the Morning Train. He works from 9 to 5, and then he takes another one home again to find me waiting for
Well,
him.
she could have worked during the day.
Sad.
I
could've
actually
worked
think
from
it's more
home.
post-feminist. I think that she's decided that she's staying home. She's making the choice to stay home.
Maybe
giving
she's
her-
podcasting
You're
from
giving
her
her
house.
all the power? Anyway, all right, let's jump into
I love
another
it.
story.
All right, here we go. Story number 2. I want to read you the headline. A beachcomber brought home what she thought was a rusty old plate. She later learned it was a landmine.
Have you seen? I did.
Honey, I got something good today. It's so good.
She
honey.
thought it was a plate?
Yes. I'm gonna eat off this.
I saw.
It goes click when you step on it.
Oh God! I saw a guy with
these
a metal
plates are
detector.
ticking.
Yeah, I saw a guy with a metal detector at the beach, and I was the most fascinated.
I always
by
want to walk with them because they're.
What are you looking? What are you gonna get?
I think
A landmine.
I'm looking for
Landmine.
treasure.
Yeah,
Are you?
treasure.
Treasure.
Okay.
A doubloon.
I'm just like, please let treasure be coins and not like
A
your
dead
kid.
stripper.
who you
This is sent
just-
in by-
yeah,
Said a dead stripper.
Linda Hartman at LKHTMN.
Linda Hartman.
Hashtag dump
Linda
people down.
Hartman. Linda Hartman.
At Daniel Kirk. Love you, Linda. You're always out there for us. This is from CNN. Back in April, Jane Wilson, with a Y, so it's Renaissance, found out that she thought what was an old plate lying on the beach, the truth was a bit more explosive. Wilson, I know.
It
I
just
love when they put
upsets
jokes in
you.
news.
You're a journalist. You can't.
No,
You're
no,
like,
no,
if
please
you
stop.
were to, if that.
Yeah, but Mo's got
appeared-
liberty to actually do it well.
But if
yeah, but
he's
he would be making fun of that choice.
That's right.
Yeah.
Of that idea.
Wilson, who works as a private home health aide, love, big nod to that. My mom did that for a long time. Was walking her client's dog around sunrise on Indian River Shores Beach in Florida. The avid beachcomber likes collecting sea glass, so she examined the seashell beds as she walked, just in case something caught her eye.
Sure. I get
And
that.
something did. I like newspeak.
Yeah.
Lying
did.
lying atop the sand that day was what looked like a plate, maybe a long lost ago off a Spanish ship. Okay, you're reaching.
Let's
Like a serving platter? From
Yes,
like
it's a plate. That
here's
came
a
from
picture of her with the plate.
She's so happy.
It looks more like a catcher's mitt to me than a plate, but It's
Also
a
looks like-
disc.
what is it? The mortar or the pestle? It looks like
Yes.
something
Yes.
like
Yes.
Yes.
The pestle is the stick. The mortar.
Okay, right. Oh,
also-
a mortar, and a mortar is also.
a shell.
Shell.
A
Oh my
mortar
God,
shell.
wow.
There you
See,
go.
we're
Wait,
coming up with it right
So,
here.
and if you want to see what this looks like, join the Facebook page. I know it's growing slowly, but we should be up at 75,000 people on this Facebook
Look at how
page.
happy she is.
She's so happy.
I know. Meanwhile, the dog is run off.
Yeah,
Right.
she's
The
like,
nose, right? Yeah.
me.
Here we go. So she
By the
took
way,
it home.
What is she wearing? She's wearing like
Just like a nice little Florida walk around. It's good for
Okay.
a light breeze, or
Okay,
if it
good. I
it's
got you.
humid, you're
I
not
got
too
you.
bad. Little walk
She
around
was-
shirt.
It's is it a vest?
No, I think it's,
It's
a
a
one. It's got a
two-
cool sleeves.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
But meanwhile, I bet she feels self-conscious about what happened, and this is like telling the story. Like you can't bring this story up around her. Like
I know.
think
it's
she's
like
wearing a
we have to
graduation
walk.
gown.
We have to walk very carefully.
She's got.
No, you're right. Graduation gown. So you have to walk very gingerly and carefully around
Because
this subject. You
it-
can't.
it could explode.
It could.
Guys, the two of you at Sklar Brothers for their submersive landmine humor.
She has PTSD over this whole.
So
thing.
she took it home for months. Listen to this. She chipped away at the
No!
shells and barnacles crusted onto its surface. I'm getting to this plate.
You're gonna figure it out, like screwdriver.
I ain't no dummy. Boom, boom,
Storing
boom.
it in a lunchbox cooler filled with water. Okay. Which made me think something. Do kids still have lunchboxes?
My daughter
Lunchbox
does. She's got a
cooler.
Beatles lunchbox.
Ran-
They do? It's a
Yes.
thing? It's a thing that still happens?
So my son has a soft lunchbox.
Yeah, George has a
What's
soft
that
one.
about?
Well, it's about the ability to expand, and it's not metal, and it's sort of
Daisy's
like-
got an
like
original
backpack
Beatles
material.
lunchbox that she takes to high school. So
Really?
original, like
And she puts
eBay.
lunch in there?
Yep, I put lunch in there for her.
Hey, come on.
Look at that.
Look, good dad.
Who
Look,
does that?
Look,
Who
good
does
dad wink.
He's taking that morning train.
Yes.
when she finds me waiting for her at the end.
Then on Tuesday, there was a post on a community webpage about a man who found a landmine. A friend sent it over to Wilson saying, Jane,
Stop
is this,
chipping it away.
Stop chipping away.
is this the thing you have in a cooler? And this is where Jane keeps all of her most important things on your living room floor. No! Why is
It's
even
by
a-
the coffee table.
even if it's just a plate that you are trying to soak in water and chip away every day, don't keep it in the living room.
Dan, the chipping away at the landmine until it explodes in your face is the definition of marriage. That is the
That's marriage story.
Honey, are you going to clean the garage?
Right.
Chip, 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 chip. Honey,
Do you get the emails?
chip,
yeah,
chip,
I
chip,
get-
chip, chip, chip,
I
chip,
love
chip,
the
chip.
Marriage story would have been so much more suspenseful.
If there was a landmine in the middle of it.
Noah
There is.
Baumbach,
The
are you
landmine
watching?
is the
Noah?
kid. The kid is the landmine in marriage story.
Yes.
A little bit,
Kiefer
yeah.
Sutherland is in there somewhere.
Yes, 100%.
That's why they called him Noah Baumbach.
Bomb.
Sorry,
Randy.
so sorry.
He puts the bomb in Baumbach.
At Sklar Brothers.
Thank you. Sorry.
Tell them how you feel about that.
No.
Because I loved it.
Thank you.
Okay, here's another thing. So remember, a friend.
Dan, did you love it because you didn't have a dad? And you're like, at least this guy's around for some things.
Yeah, he was fighting.
He was way in there.
Yeah, he was fighting.
He's
he didn't
hanging
go
in.
off to California. Okay. Come on. Here's a Disney hat. Okay, so you went there? Okay, so a friend sent it over to Wilson. This is what I want to reanalyze. Go back.
Picture. Hey, is this what you have on your in the cooler on your
Which
living
means
room floor?
what? That
He
means
knows that she's
she will not shut up about
About
this.
she
plate
brings it
that
up every
everyone
day.
in her friend group knows that it's in her living
You
room.
know,
on the
I
floor.
got a plate on the living room
Yes,
floor.
you've
Yes,
told
you've
us.
told
It's
her.
in the cooler, so that. But is there liquid in there?
Yes,
That's helping
water
process
is
it?
in there
Water
to
is
help
helping
hopefully
to help
disintegrate
dissolve.
it. But here's the thing: like she gets asked to come out with people. We're going to Applebee's.
Jane,
I
come on,
can't.
Jane.
I'm chipping the
I'm
plate
chipping
tonight.
the plate tonight.
I'd love to.
Who was Florida at war with? Why are there landmines?
Chipping the
It's
plate.
in here. I don't know if I included it, but if I did, I will get you.
You know
that
what I'm
answer.
going to say?
Chipping the plate
Stop.
is the touching the void.
Because that is kind of what it is.
She's touching the plate. She's
dude.
close to the edge of whatever her life is going to be.
Chipping the plate.
She's chipping the plate.
She's in like her and her husband are going through fight. I just wish something would end this whole thing. Little does she know
One
they're
last-
literally
You keep
sitting on a
bugging me.
bike.
You keep chipping. I'm going to explode.
So that's when she realized what she had stored at home. How many months do you think she had been chipping away at a landmine in a cooler? in her
Figuratively
living
or
room?
literally?
Literally.
Okay, Mo, you are our guest. You can go first or in
It's
between
a
me
little
and
fun
Jason.
side game. How long do you think Jane Wilson had a landmine in her living room, chipping at it?
9 months.
9 months.
Okay.
So
The amount of time it
amount
takes to make a
to
person.
gestate a human being.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Jay,
Exactly.
Jay, what do you think?
14 months.
Okay.
I think she had it in for 3 years. I know this is going to sound crazy.
30
years,
36 months.
Yeah.
Okay. One of you is exactly right.
Oh!
Now we get to play another game. Who do you think is right?
exactly right? Now you
Mo?
can have confidence.
I think that Jason's right.
Okay.
Ooh, 14 months.
I think I'm right.
Okay.
I think I'm right.
I think Mo is right.
Okay. The amount of months, the amount of time that Jane Wilson had a cooler in her living room filled with water. I'm assuming next to the couch or on the end table.
Yeah.
She'd bring it out during Jeopardy and just chip away
That's
at
right,
it.
she puts her feet up on it during wheel.
She had that landmine for 9 months.
Oh, Mo! Have confidence in your
I want
yourself.
to thank my agent. I wanna thank-
Who else can you think?
I would like to think, I was always so jealous of families that had sunken living rooms growing up. What if
love
it
it
had
too.
detonated and they would have had a sunken
living room.
A crater? Yeah.
Sunken living room is kind of amazing.
Sunken
Isn't
Living Room
it?
is a show I want to see on HGTV. That's all they do. Come in and sink the living room.
It sank the living room.
I love a good I love that. A good talking den. It always makes me just feel happy.
Sunken
So
Living Room is an indie rock band.
So in Crimes and Misdemeanors, there's a very pivotal scene that I wrote a huge paper when
In
I
a
was in
sunken
Michigan
living
in the
room?
sunken living room. Fire's going in the fireplace.
The sunken living
the
room
rabbi's
makes me feel good.
going blind. He's descending. The murder has
Yeah.
happened. He's descending into a hell-like state near the fire. The rabbi's getting more and more blind. It's like this battle between good and evil, and the sunken living room. The whole time I'm like, that's an awesome sunken living
It's
room.
just so great. Well, you can also call it a conversation pit.
Yes.
So can we vote on which is better, a sunken living room or a conversation pit?
Sunken living room
I
evokes
like sunken
pirate
living
culture,
room.
like sunken
treasure.
I don't know. I mean, I
I'm
have
a
a dream.
sunken living room guy. I'm just
too.
like a
Conversation pit's pretty dope, though.
conversation.
The SLR. Come on, let's get
Sunken
the
living room.
SLR. I have a dream of owning a big windowed mid-century modern home with a sunken living room.
Sectional couch.
I know.
Sectional couch that goes around
Like
that
a
is-
U, like
it
a
follows the thing of the sunken. It's like the Mad Men.
That's what I
sectional
was
couch.
But I think
That's built
Don
in.
Draper's New York apartment
Is
in
built
Mad
in.
Men had a sunken.
Oh yeah,
living room,
the
didn't it?
couch is built
yeah,
in.
Yeah. Oh God.
Jesus.
Now I'm literally just
Come on, Dan.
fetishizing furniture and a
Upholstery.
Papa Bear chair or
Papa
whatever they're
San.
called. Those mid-century. Okay, here we
All
go.
right, here we go.
Get me off of this. All right. I had it sitting in an old cooler, and it was sitting on the kitchen counter, she said. I thought it was a plate. I was hoping to find a plate. She's so dejected by this bomb. She's like, you got me, Ocean.
Yeah.
She
Don't
called.
pick stuff up if
By
it's
the way,
not yours. Leave it
also,
alone.
it's not the only plate in the world.
Go to
Get another.
Crate and
Go to
Barrel,
Pier
for
One
Christ's sake.
Imports.
Seriously.
If you want to spend some money, go to Heath.
She wrote. Also, this reminds me. If you have not watched on Netflix, The Treasure of the Unbelievable, I believe is what it's called.
I haven't.
It is an unreal documentary.
The treasure of the unbelievable. I
What
don't
is
know
that?
it.
Watch it. Next time you're on a plane.
Have you
and then
seen?
I'm sure
have
we'll
you seen
have a
Abducted in
conversation
Plain
about
Sight?
it.
What is it called?
Abducted in Plain Sight.
No.
Okay.
No.
This is what we tell
It's
everyone.
a
who
dark
does-
documentary.
Okay.
But 22 minutes in, your brain will
You
melt.
need to text us or DM us when you hit 22 minutes. Watch it, and then at the 22-minute mark, stop watching it and text
well, you won't
us
be able
your
to help
thoughts.
yourself.
Abducted in plain sight.
But just it's dark.
DM
You have to
us.
be- if you're in,
Yep.
if you're okay for a dark. It's turn.
Yeah,
It gets,
I like
okay.
dark stuff.
Okay. I just took somebody who doesn't know what they're walking
I
into
know.
there.
Yeah,
I know.
Although it is called Abducted in Plain,
Plain
Sight.
Sight. Yeah.
All right.
It's insane.
She called the Indian River Shores police, which feels problematic, who told her to evacuate her home while they notified a near Air Force base to pick up the mine. You leave. Wilson, though,
She's like, I've been living with this thing.
Yeah.
yeah,
Just chip a
she
little bit more
reasoned
on
that
it.
if it hadn't gone off in the last few months, it probably wasn't going to go off now.
Bad
Your
reasoning.
joke, Dan.
Right. Well, yeah, I think it's a dud.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so Dan's...
My brother and cousin at the Princeton Flea Market, you
In
can hear this whole
Wisconsin.
story on my album, they bought a grenade. My mom marched them back up and said, "Is this real?" And he said to my mom, "It's never gone off." I think it's a dud.
where was this again?
Princeton, Wisconsin.
It's in Wisconsin.
At the
a flea
largest
market.
Yeah,
open air
No,
semi-annual,
you're close. You're good. It's
bi-monthly.
the largest weekly April till October flea market in the state.
Okay.
It carved that niche. He said it's never gone off. And then she just looked at me and goes, I'm pretty sure it's a dud. And the joke I always say is, pretty sure it's a dud, are the final tragic words of every horrific 4th of July party.
Yeah.
Just
look
Put your
down
eye
the
over
barrel.
the tube.
Yeah,
I
just
think it's a dud.
Put your hand in there. I think it's done.
That Roman candle's not going to go off.
Okay, so she says if it hasn't gone off in the last few months, probably not going to go off now. So instead, she brought it to her client's house.
Nope.
You're
Client?
there to take care of these people. Remember, she's a home health nurse.
Oh, my God.
She brought it to her client's house and decided to leave it outside. So she told the cops, I got to go to work.
Yeah.
I'll take the landmine with me over to Susan's
Let me
house.
bring it
I'm
nearer
going to just
to other
transport it
people.
as many places as possible. Is that
Right.
okay?
Let me get it as close to more population as possible.
Right. And then I'll leave it outside her door. You come get it whenever.
Oh my God.
Wilson
this is
said
dumb.
after living with it for nearly a year, she decided on another course of action, and that was it. So I put it outside, and we stayed inside. That still doesn't protect you from a
terrible.
bomb necessarily.
So she put it outside one of the
Client's
patients.
houses, yeah.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Where? On the porch?
Yeah, on the
Like,
porch.
where did you put it?
On
Where?
the porch.
Yeah.
Threw
Indian
it in the
River
garden.
Shores Police Captain Mark Shaw told the TC Palm, this is a TC Palm that isn't Greenlee,
Amazing.
that similar finds occur all the time in the area. You have to be extremely careful. You never know, he said. We treat it as live and able to explode at any second.
Meanwhile, she's like posted 12 Instagram pictures of her like holding up the plate, serving salad on it,
Chipping away at it.
How great would it have been if Angelina Jolie just showed up? Because that was her big thing, awareness about landmines.
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
She
Yes.
just got an alert, a Google alert. on her
She's
phone.
like,
It's like, I need to be there.
I'm
on
sorry.
my way.
Sorry.
Do you have any blood to drink?
Here's the deal. I've been with my kids way too much for the last 2 months. I need
I've
to
been
get
with
away
them 2 days in the last 2 months.
It's
So
like,
know.
I didn't
Need to
realize
get
how hard
back to
parenting
landmines.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get out of this, I dug it up to dig this out for you.
yeah.
It very well could be a training mine, said a police officer. You got to be careful. You never know. He said the Army Corps of Engineers, which had personnel scouring the shoreline for ordnance objects like they found in 2019, they regularly do this because I think that was it was used. Maybe this isn't in this article, but they used it as a training.
They were
like
the
during World
origi-
War II. They would train off the coast
Okay.
of Florida.
Minesweepers.
Yeah. And they would do training exercises, and they don't know if it was live or just used for a training one. But they find this stuff, I guess, all the time. On
Did
this
they
beach.
detonate it?
They didn't say. They just said they went and came and coming out.
What do
I
you
don't think
do
it was
with it?
live.
She should get a show called Mine Hunter.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, here it is.
M-I-N-E.
The section of the shore around.
Yours and mine.
Mine Hunter.
Don't.
Mine Hunter is
What's yours is mine.
She hunts for
Yeah.
items and then she gets to keep all of them.
Exactly.
Mine Hunter.
She's looking for dishware, but she's still.
Or it's all
German.
German. It's MEIN Hunter.
Yes.
And it's all
All stuff
German.
that she gets to keep only if she lives in Germany.
Last thing I'll say, I found it. The section of the shore north of Round Island Beach, where both landmines were found, served as a World War II training area called Fort Pierce Naval Amphibious Training Base, a 19,000-acre shoreline active from 1943 to 1946. It was a training ground for them leading up to D-Day. They used it as a training area. For
Great
what
that
did
they
normally.
took all the stuff that they left there. That's really nice. So
good.
Well,
the
you got to
Army-
remember, just like we talked about in Mad Men, that scene where they go on the picnic and they just throw everything off the blanket and walk away.
Yeah.
Yes.
This was the time where you would just leave things.
Your minds,
Yeah,
yes.
you just like
Kick
leave
that
it.
over there.
Yeah.
We're getting out of here.
Out of sight, out of mind.
There you go. Story 2. Down in the books.
Down in the books.
Can you give us a little taste of what we'll see in segment 3?
Are all the stories in Florida?
No, some
They-
take place all over.
Yeah, I found one today earlier. I don't know if it's going to be in here from Montana. The next one is about just a town full of dumb people. Kind of like
I love it.
what we
Dumb
have here.
People Town. All right, Mo Rocca's with us. We have one more segment. Stay with us.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
All right, welcome back to Dumb People Town. Daniel, take us home with the story of the dumbest town in the world.
I will. Before I forget, come see me in Austin at Cap City Comedy Club. I was like, I need to promote that more.
Yes.
So I'll go to danielvankirk.com March 11th, 13th, and 14th. I'll be there.
Supersklars.com.
Come
we'll be
see us
that
in
weekend
Madison.
in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean,
at,
come on, Cap City. You have an option to see either you guys at Comedy on State in Madison or me at Cap City Comedy in Austin.
Two of the best clubs in the country. If you're close to either one, we say get there because they're going to be really special shows. We have great our
Your guys' hour right now is killer. I have new material that I'm working out from the new album that's really going great. So
love
people
it,
should
and
come
we're
out.
trying new stuff. And our feature act is Nate Abshire from Minneapolis, who is so funny. So come see us in Madison, and it'll be a blast. All right,
Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Sent in by Daniel Timmons at Timmons the DJ. Great.
Bar mitzvahs.
Here we go.
All right.
Just the headline alone is 5 words. U.S. town rejects solar panels.
Yep. Why not?
The town is like, not
We
here.
don't like them.
Not here. Wait till you hear.
Not on my watch.
We don't believe in
Not
the
in
sun.
my backyard. Or
Not on my roof's
NIMBY.
backyard.
Wasn't that the?
I want solar
Not my-
panels so badly.
Get them.
I'm ready to go that.
My
it's
LADWP
a
bills
little-
are so high, and they're just getting higher every.
I want them. I
Don't
think
you
I could-
want wind energy? Like you could have your kids would love a windmill. Probably.
A windmill
Over your
would be
house.
fun.
giant windmill on top of our house? Our neighbors would be like, "What?"
Hey,
A U.S. town has rejected a proposal. This is from The Independent. That's why they keep calling it U.S. A U.S. town has rejected a proposal for a solar farm following public concerns. And if I made you guess them, you guys could not get as dumb as these people are.
So the solar farm. Now you've driven out to Vegas or been out kind of that
You
way.
can see it when you fly in.
You're driving out into very ugly desert that is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. And then huge swaths of areas. You have solar panels that could basically run the electricity of the entire state of Nevada if you put enough
or
out
more, dude. If they
Or-
covered most of the desert with massive solar panels, and they're getting better at making,
there. You
solar
could do
panels.
more, and it would be just this fantastic thing. But so what would you rather see? Just a stark desert? Is that something that is more beautiful to you?
No, Rand, I don't think environmentalists and people who are naturalists, I don't think nature people are objecting.
Do they
to
think
these.
that it's going to make the sun more powerful?
Let's get into it. I
can't wait.
Members of the public.
Big sun. You got to be.
Be leery of Big Sun. Big Sun is so oppressive. It'll burn you. Members, that's
Big
me.
Pharma.
Members of the public in Woodland, North Carolina, expressed their fear and mistrust at the proposal to allow Strata Solar Company to build a solar farm off of Highway 258.
It's funny. Fear and mistrust has never stopped progress in the past.
Ever,
Yeah,
ever.
That
especially in the
usually is
South.
the harbinger of progress.
During the Woodland Town Council meeting, one local man, Bobby Mann, 2 B's, actually 3 B's, 2
B's,
N's,
2 N's.
Yep.
Bobby Mann.
said solar farms, ready for this? This was his argument.
they take your soul.
Solar farms would suck up all the energy from the sun, and businesses would not go to Woodland because solar farms take too much of the sun's power. Mo, are you
And wait,
processing?
and why? So they would. So what would happen?
It would get too cold, I guess.
No, it would get cold
Or too hot.
We wouldn't have enough sun to go around.
Yeah.
Look, I've worked on a farm my whole damn life. You can only harvest a field so many times. You're going to harvest that sun, you ain't going to have nothing left for everybody else. Like, does he think they're going there and
It's not a
taking-
zero-sum game.
Stop.
Right.
Stop.
But you're also right.
No, but
Mo
yeah,
love
it
that.
is
Mo love
renewable
that.
energy. There is a reason why they call it renewable energy.
Here's the deal with
He
the sun.
thinks that it's going to suck too much stuff out of the sun, and then what will happen?
Like,
Ruin the
his
sun.
theory-
We're gonna
if I'm
ruin the
getting-
sun.
if I can-
No. He
if I can
makes
get
the
to the
leap
dump
from
pool.
and businesses won't come there.
Right.
because
Because we've taken too much of the
You
sun.
guys suck too much of the sun.
Like, he thinks that there's a measured amount, that the sun gives you 100 kilowatts a day. And if
Right.
we get these farms, we're going to take too much, and it won't be enough to go around for the planet.
So I can't believe he didn't say you're going to piss off the sun god, and
Right.
then they will not.
No, that probably would go against the whole other set of
there's
beliefs.
only
you
one
have.
God.
I
and
don't
his
root
name
for
is
people to
Jesus.
get struck by lightning, but this guy,
This
if
guy
it
could
happened,
get-
we could be like, all right, let's just
Well,
lay
that
him
would
down
be
for-
one less lightning that would hit somebody
Hey,
else.
see?
Because
Oh,
it's
come
there's
on.
only
We
so
only
much.
get 11 bolts.
Here's what
Fine.
people need to understand about the sun. Our fear is not the sun depleting; it's doing too much.
Yeah.
That like it's
Right.
right. That's the that
We-
it's going to
so
get out
we-
of hand someday. We're gonna have another big what they call it. I can't remember the name now, but like in the
Solar flare?
1800s,
Oh.
there was a solar storm that like really screwed up what limited technology we had at the time. And they're saying that we're due for another one, and it would kill all of our technology like in one. Like it messed up so much, like radio waves and things like that. That if we have another one, which we're due for, it's called the something effect.
Is
I
it,
can't
is
think-
it, he doesn't want us getting tangled up with the sun because
Right.
it's like sort of
Don't
like
mess with the sun.
Don't
Right.
because if you get too involved, it'll bite you in the ass.
It's a
or-
bad
Here comes the
relationship.
sun.
Yeah,
Jane Man, gotta be Bobby's sister,
Sister,
wife, mom,
Or
daughter,
both,
friend.
Chain man.
Or all four.
A retired science teacher
no boy.
said she was concerned
Fired.
The panels would prevent plants in the area from photosynthesizing and stop them from growing.
Great.
Because
Now we
the
have the
sun-
power of science behind
Because
this.
we're putting
jackass.
plants out of work.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
basically. Okay.
Right, because
This panels
Carolina-
are taking all our jobs.
because North Carolina only gets so much sun, and if the farms take it all, there's not enough for the dandelions. Ms. Mann said she had seen areas near solar panels where plants were brown and dead because they did not get enough sunlight. Were they under them?
If they're
Yeah.
under the panels, they're not getting the sunlight.
Right.
I hate this woman.
She
I hate
also
these guys so
she also
much.
questioned the high number of cancer deaths in the area, saying no one could tell her solar panels didn't cause cancer.
Then she opened up a Diet Coke and drank it.
Exactly.
I think we know what's going
She
on.
lit a nice unfiltered cigarette.
Cigarette, smoked it, drank a Diet Coke, and then ate a piece of red meat.
You can't, but you can't tell her.
No.
You
How
can't-
dare you?
I
How
won't.
dare you?
I will not tell her.
The area around Woodland is a popular choice because it has an electrical substation allowing the panels to be hooked up to the national grid.
Which
The
is
national grid.
We could be
National,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
A spokesman for Strata told the meeting, imagine having to say this,
my
there
God.
are no negative impacts. A solar farm is a wonderful use for a property like
That's
this.
not what I think.
Then they had to add to these other human
I
beings,
can't believe this.
the panels don't draw additional sunlight.
That's
Hey, dummy, what you said is dumb. That's what they're saying right there.
Right.
Your dumb idea that your dumb mouth put out into this world is dumb.
The council voted 3-1 against rezoning the land and later voted for a moratorium on future solar farms. They don't want any. Among the reasons they gave were that a growing solar industry would harm the economy and reduce the value of homes in the area.
How great would it be if
Jason.
a bunch of young people, so like you move, so now if I'm Amazon and I'm Jeff Bezos and I have all the money in the world,
Right.
what you do is you wild country this shit. You put a Google plant there.
Sure.
Okay?
Amazon.
Or Amazon plant,
Yeah.
whatever. They're
Yeah,
all connected.
I get it. You're
You
right.
put an Amazon plant
And
there.
you put 40,000 employees there. And then they start
to
voting.
like get on like they start to
Right.
get on the board, and
I
then
mean-
everyone starts wearing purple, and then there's a sex cult.
And Jane Man just shrivels up and turns brown.
That's right.
Right.
Jane Man
I've
and Bobby
heard
Man.
people in the area are shriveling up and turning
Turning
brown.
brown.
Hi, Jane Man. She can no longer use her fingers.
I know that we don't get political and dump people out, but this is why your city council matters. Like
Yeah,
it
no.
matters on a municipal
We're not
level.
getting political. We'll get local politics
Right,
here.
right.
Just like how great would it be if then they infiltrated the town of people who are like wise thinking, and then they just completely do it, and it winds up benefiting the country. This is where you can use your. This is where money.
That is actually interesting. That is where like Bloomberg could put his money to
Thank you.
definitely good use is just paying like a group of 50,000 people who just move town to town.
That's right.
Year after year and register and just vote.
Yeah,
And
then you don't need to
infiltrate
gerrymander
the-
anything because you just put the
infiltrate
people.
That's right. Infiltrate the local government.
And they're just move. That's their full time job. Is they keep moving and
Town movers.
Here's the crazy thing, though, Mo. There is a large swath of this country that thinks that's already happening.
Yeah.
That people are like coming in. But
I
they
would
just
do
had
that.
the last year, or no, 2016 with the New Hampshire, there was those accounts of like people coming from other states to vote. No one did that.
No
but
one
there are
did
people that still believe that people
But I
voted
think we
in the New
should.
Hampshire
If they're
primary.
believing it, we should do it.
Why not do it if they're going to
Well,
believe in it?
You can't tell me. If anyone starts a sentence with what you
You
can't tell
me.
them,
It'd just be like you can't.
Yeah,
Then you
you
don't
don't
I'm
get
not going to tell
talk.
you anything.
You,
You don't
can't
get to
listen to
talk.
what we're going to say.
not a bad country music song lyric.
You
You
can't
can't
tell
tell
me.
me.
Right.
That she's never coming back.
Loretta
you can't tell
Lynn,
me
me.
that I don't want to work here. Sir,
You
that means-
can't
that means
tell
you do
me to
wanna
put
work.
my dog to sleep.
You
Nope.
can't tell me I can't park here.
You can't tell me I can't park here is a great.
I mean,
that's-
after the
that's a
country song "I'm Getting Drunk on a Plane" came out, anything is possible.
You can't tell me I can't hit the back of her seat.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't tell me I can't live Republican and vote Democrat. No
you
one's telling
can't
you.
tell me I can't walk my dog there. I mean, we are writing this song. It is just writing itself.
Big and Rich.
Big
and
and-
Dan and Ran and Jay.
Jan and Ran and Jay and Mo. There we go. All right, that's the show, you guys.
There you
Mo
go.
Rocca again. Mobituaries. If you love beautifully crafted, wonderful stories, then and I don't know how many people out there actually love those things. But,
I think lots of people. I think
you do
They're
love
so
that,
good.
well, there's
They're
something
so
beautiful happening in the world of podcasts. There are riff fests like the one that we do right now, and then there are podcasts that are
So beautifully produced
and put together. And this is one of those to counteract the silly, impromptu nature of something like this. So we say definitely subscribe to it. You will love it. And come see us all when we're doing live stuff. Follow us all on the Twitters and Instagram. We'll give you all the details.
And oh shit, we gotta get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Starburns Audio.
A podcast network.